What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim Special Edition 5 Cool Mods. Basically this is a series where I show you through each and every week some of the cool or interesting mods to come out for Skyrim. We've had pretty much a constant flow of mods now. It's almost been a month since the release of Skyrim Special Edition, or maybe it's been a little bit more than a month, who cares. Regardless, the mods have been flowing out quite nicely, and I gotta say the series has been consistently producing good episodes, and today is no exception. It seems like each and every week new mod authors are like, hey, I'm just gonna port over my 5 really good sword mods or something like that, and it's consistently keeping the game exciting and the modding scene interesting, but it's making it very hard to compile a good list of mods for you guys to download because we're constantly getting new great additions. I guess that's a good problem to have though. If you guys do want to support the series, I really encourage you to leave a comment down below. Due to YouTube's new algorithms, that's the best way to help me out. Regardless, I'd also encourage you to consider subscribing if you do enjoy the series. So with all that being said, let's just jump right into it. So the first mod I do want to show you guys is Simply Bigger Trees SE. This mod's actually pretty self-explanatory. It's going to make some of the trees in Skyrim pretty noticeably bigger. A lot of them are going to be 1.8 times their original size. On top of that, there's actually an added addition to this mod to make a lot of the shrubs and kind of just smaller foliage also larger, which I do have installed while playing this. This is one of those mods that you don't realize what a difference it makes until you install it, play for it for a little bit, and then go back. This is actually a substantial increase to the size of just the foliage, again, and trees in Skyrim, but on top of that, it actually makes the game just feel a little bit more wild. When you're running through now, the trees feel like a more dominant force. With that add-on installed, you're definitely going to be running through and be like, wow, you feel like you're going through tall grass on Pokemon. That's what it reminded me of. Now, if you use this with a mod like dense grass, which it should be compatible with, that would be a pretty interesting combination as well. All around, it's one of those mods that at first glance, you're like, that'll be kind of small, but when you install it, it definitely makes a pretty substantial and noticeable difference. Right now, it's not available for Xbox One, but this is by Fading Signal, and he's been known to port his mods over to Xbox One, so I'd check back over the next few days and I'm sure it'll make its way over there. Definitely a cool mod and definitely one I would recommend everyone downloads onto their game. Up next is Tribal Scimitar. So I love this mod. This is a very cool mod. Basically, it's going to add in this scimitar and a few different variants of it. So it's going to start off with this kind of normal one, which I got to say, when it's on your back, it looks absolutely amazing. Then you're going to have a few different color options that are basically going to have these tribal designs on them, which also look very cool. I actually almost prefer the normal one a little bit more. Regardless, all three of these are very high quality, that being the swords themselves. I also think the little back sheath is extremely high quality. I think the leather look of that and the leather look on the handle do mesh really well with a lot of the different armors out there. It's going to be, again, a relatively simple sword mod, basically just adding in this single standalone sword. There's no crazy way to get it. You're just going to be able to make it at a forge under the steel section. Regardless, when you're actually using this thing, you definitely feel pretty powerful. Again, there's going to be a one-handed and a two-handed version of it. I'm using the two-handed version because, I mean, how can you not use the two-handed version? You can slash away your enemies, or with the bigger tree mods, go through a forest and act like you're chopping down some shrubs. Whatever makes you happy in Skyrim, it has the platform to do that. Ciri's outfit. So have you played The Witcher? A lot of people played The Witcher. It was regarded as one of the best games to come out in 2015. Well, if you like the look of some of the characters in The Witcher, this mod's going to be for you. Basically, what this is going to add in is Ciri's outfit, being one of the main characters from The Witcher game, into Skyrim Special Edition. It's going to add in her armor in a very modular and kind of mix and match way. By that I mean basically you could have only certain pieces of this armor if you only want certain pieces of this armor. That little fur jacket looking thing is just kind of her collar. You could have different boots, different leggings, no top, a smaller top, etc, etc. It's very cool, and on top of that, it actually adds in 3 different weapons with that armor. So that's going to be a two-handed version of Ciri's sword, a one-handed version of Ciri's sword, and of course a dagger. So these are pretty cool. They're relatively simple, nothing too crazy going on here, but obviously if you did really like Ciri from the Witcher series, I'm sure you're going to love this as well. It does fit very well with the armor and the character in some sense. The swords are very high quality, but it kind of blows my mind that a dedicated armor that comes with a dedicated sword is going to have clipping right out of the box. The sword on your back will actually clip through some of the lower parts of the armors around your waist, as well as the swords on your side. The dagger and the regular sword will actually clip into each other. This is something so small, and it seems like it'd be something relatively easy to fix, which I would love to see fixed in the future, and this armor I think would see kind of a pretty vast improvement from that. Bani Katana. So it's going to be by the same mod author of the Tribal Scimitar. This is a pretty unique and interesting mod. Basically what the mod author says is this mod or this weapon can only be created by a very experienced forge master, and as such it's a very lightweight but a very powerful weapon. There's 2 versions of this weapon, each of them having a little bit of a different curve, and one is going to be a bit longer. I think this weapon looks very cool and very interesting, and more than anything else, it looks very different. It's unlike anything we have in Skyrim right now, at least in my eyes, and really it's very different than a lot of even some of the other weapon mods out there right now. That curved look to it and just kind of having one continuous piece of steel going throughout the whole thing, I guess a lot of swords have that, but I just think it looks very cool, especially with some of the curves and rivets in the weapon. I do like the little backstory behind it, although I'd love to see a better way to get it. Right now you just go to a forge and craft it. A weapon of, I guess, this caliber, I feel like could have a cool, like maybe you have to take down some ninja or something. Even something like that is relatively simple and cheesy, I think would be a big improvement over something like this. Regardless, the weapon itself does look very good. It is very high quality, as well as it's pretty fun to use. You have quite a bit of reach when using this, especially if you use the slightly longer extra curved version, and it definitely packs a pretty powerful punch. So if you're looking for something that is maybe a little bit more unique than some of the kind of great swords or claymores out there right now, I definitely think this mod's going to be worth the download. Or if you just want to use like a ninja or samurai character and use a weapon that stands out a little bit more than your typical katana. I love snow. Winter is my favorite season, the Christmas time is my favorite time of year. So with all that being said, I'm going to show you guys Nordic Snow. Basically, it's going to be a very simple mod. It's going to be a retexture for the snow in the Skyrim Special Edition. It's going to be the same resolution as the vanilla snow, so you should hypothetically have very minimal or no kind of FPS drop. I didn't notice any FPS drop after installing this mod, yet it does make the snow, in my eyes, look quite a bit more realistic and quite a bit better. Again, a relatively simple mod, but I really love the winter season. It is December 2nd now. I would have loved to have put a snow mod in December 1st had I had the foresight. Regardless, I want to have a snow mod on every episode of this series going forward because, again, it's winter, it's Christmas time, and I might be a little bit biased, but regardless, this is going to be definitely a good mod, especially if you are looking to kind of really remaster your Skyrim, because out of the box, it wasn't really that remastered. All the textures are pretty much the same. This is going to be the snow mod I do recommend to everyone looking for one. I actually think it's better than the Skyland vanilla snow texture, so I would use this as I am with Skyland and basically just overwrite the Skyland files to include these ones instead. That's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode, guys. If you did make it to this point in the video, comment down below snowman, because snowmans are cool. Regardless, I thank you again for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. See you all later.